Welcome to the MamasteFit YouTube channel. In this workout, we're going to be targeting creating space in the bottom part of the pelvis to help you prepare for pushing. Hey, my name is Gina. I'm a perinatal fitness trainer and birth doula and mama of 4. And this is Roxanne, who is the co-founder of MamasteFit, a midwife, mom of 3, and has one more on the way. She is pregnant. She is pregnant, everybody. In this workout, we're going to be focusing on creating space in the bottom part of the pelvis. And there's different movements that we can do to physically pull the pelvis open to make more space, in addition to learning how to yield, because the bottom of the pelvis has a lot of soft tissue. And so learning how to relax the tissues in the bottom of your pelvis is really, really helpful to allowing a baby to pass through. So for this workout, what we're going to need is a weight that's medium to heavy for you. We're going to need a yoga block or a small stack of books, and then we're going to need a long band that's attached around knee or ankle level. And so if you don't have an attachment point, you can also just put the band around your feet as well. In this workout, we're going to move through 2 rounds together. After we do the 2 rounds, if you want to do more, feel free to repeat the video. But once you gather your equipment, let's go ahead and get started. And as we move through the workout, I'm going to explain in more depth how each of these exercises is helping you to prepare for pushing. So we're going to start with a staggered stance RDL. You're going to place your left leg into the band so that's around the inside of the knee. So we're going to have some inner thigh activation, and we're going to hold the weight in the right hand. And so in this movement, we're going to be strengthening the hamstrings and the inner thighs, which both help to pull the bottom of the pelvis open. So holding the weight in that right hand, put more weight into that left foot. Inhale to lower down, and then exhale to stand up and to extend in the hip. And at the top, think just slight tuck underneath of that left hip. Inhales are to lower, exhales to come on up. With the left foot, we're going to think weight is in that left big toe. That left knee is stacked over the ankle, so it's not flailing out, it's not caving in. And then with the hips, we're thinking like you have a flashlight on your butt and you're trying to shine the wall behind you, not the floor below you. So a hinge is going to target more of the hamstrings, but we want to think more of like hips coming back as opposed to down towards the floor. In this movement, we're strengthening the inner thighs and hamstrings, which helps to pull the bottom of the pelvis open. In addition to, when we lower down, we're stretching more of that left posterior pelvic floor, which tends to be tighter. And when we come up, we're strengthening more of that left anterior pelvic floor, which tends to be underactive. Let's go ahead and switch directions. So you're going to take that band, if you're using it, and place the right leg into it now. And then we're going to still hold that weight in the right hand though. So we're going to be addressing a little bit of pelvic balance. So inhales to lower down, and then exhales to come on up. So we still have our hamstring strengthening exercise. We still have our inner thigh strengthening, but now we have the weight on the right side. So it's actually going to bring that right hip into a little bit more external rotation as opposed to more internal rotation. So this is going to help to offload that right anterior pelvic floor, in addition to help to strengthen that right posterior pelvic floor, which tends to be underactive. So addressing pelvic balance, it looks a little bit different on each side, but still targeting opening the bottom of the pelvis. Because remember, the bottom of the pelvic outlet has a lot of soft tissue, so we need to have good balance within the bottom of the pelvic floor to help support baby being able to pass through. So inhales to lower, really focusing on finding that hinge, so hips going back, and then exhale to stand up. Go ahead and place that weight down, and we're going to come to a seated position to do some rows. So you're going to grab on to your band. If you need, you can place like a pillow or something underneath your hips so that it's a little bit more comfortable for you. And then your legs can be straight or they can be a little bit bent depending on your preference, but we're going to be doing some lat strengthening with some rows. So we're going to go ahead and exhale to pull that band back. Really think about keeping elbows close to your side. So we're not chicken winging the arms out, and then inhale to release. We're going to think exhale, try to squeeze elbow into your side, really feeling your lats turn on, and then inhale to come forward. exhale to row, and then inhale to release. So we're gonna do 1 minute of rowing because the lat musculature, when we apply tension to the lats, helps to actually pull the tailbone backwards. And so your lat muscles don't attach directly to the tailbone or to your sacrum, but there's a fascial connection between the two. And so when we have tension here, it helps to track that tailbone back, which creates space front to back in the bottom of the pelvis. And so if you see any pictures or videos of people pushing, you'll see a lot of them generate tons of lat tension because of how it impacts that front to back pelvic diameter. In about 3 seconds, we're just gonna hold and we're gonna practice our push breathing here. So hold that band back. If you want to bend in the knees, you can. And we're gonna think big inhale into the back to feel some more pressure down within the pelvic floor and perineal area. And then exhale, you're just gonna think like gently push down. So it's like a 20 to 30% effort of pushing. We're not like trying to poop our pants right now by any means. So big inhale into the back. Feel that downward pressure down into the pelvic floor, and then exhale, just kind of gently push down with it. Big inhale into the back, and then exhale, just gently push down. And so when it comes to pushing, the inhale is the key portion of our push. We need to increase that pressure and feel that downward pressure, and then we can add on to it with the exhalation and muscular force. So big inhale into the back, keep squeezing elbows into your side, and then exhale, just gently push down. All right, so now let's come into our hero's pose rock back. You're gonna sit onto your yoga block. And we're gonna have just knees in, ankles just slightly out. So it's not an extreme position by any means. It shouldn't be painful. We're not trying to torque the hips into anything uncomfortable. And what we're gonna do in this movement is we're going to keep this round in our back in this internal rotation, and we're gonna kind of move forward and backwards in it. So go ahead and start here. We're gonna think exhale, pull belly to spine, and then sit back to the block. Big inhale down here. And then go ahead, exhale, pull belly to spine to come forward, and then sit back. So we're focusing on finding more of this rounded position because this helps us to find more internal rotation. It targets more of that posterior pelvic floor, and we're just adding in a little bit of movement. So we're coming into a little bit more knee and hip flexion as we sit back. We're finding that rounded position, and we have a little bit of internal rotation. And so now again, we can come into thinking about our push breathing. So we can come forward. We're gonna think big inhale into the back side of the body, and then exhale, just gently push down as you sit into the block. So coming forward to think big inhale into the back, and then you're gonna exhale and just like gently push down. So again, not trying to poop our pants, just 20 to 30%. Let's move into round number 2, back to that staggered stance RDL. If you don't have the banded attachment, you can just omit the banded portion. So go ahead and just omit the banded portion for this round. Grab onto your weight in the right hand, and we're gonna start with that left leg forward. So if you're using the band, your left leg is inside that band, and we're gonna inhale to lower and exhale to come on up. So inhales to lower down, and then exhales to drive those hips back up. We're gonna inhale to lower, think belly is rotating towards the thigh. So as you reach the bottom, you should feel a little bit more of a stretch in that left glute area, and then exhales to stand up. Think lots of weight in that left big toe, keeping that left knee stacked over the ankle. And then exhale to drive forward. Most of the weight is in the left foot, so we're not standing up and like sinking our weight backwards into the right leg. We just have like a little bit of a kickstand on that right leg. So the hamstrings and adductors, so your inner thighs and the back muscles of your leg, help to pull your pelvis into more internal rotation. So they help to pull the bottom of the pelvis open side to side. And so incorporating strengthening exercises that target your hamstrings and inner thighs can help to create more space in the bottom of the pelvis. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Keep that weight in that right hand, and now we're gonna step the right foot forward and just kickstand that left foot back just a tad. So inhales to lower down, and then exhales to stand up. Inhales to lower, and then exhale to stand up. With the right hold on the right side, we're gonna favor a little bit more external rotation and a little bit more open hip in this right hip, which you may be thinking, like, why would I not just do internal rotation on both sides if internal rotation is what helps to open my pelvis? The reason we do it differently on this side is that right anterior pelvic floor tends to fire a lot more. And because of that, it can prevent that pelvic half from lifting up to allow baby to get underneath the left side. And so when we find more of these open hip positions, it helps to offload that right anterior pelvic floor so it doesn't fire as much, and helps us to pull that pelvis more open by strengthening the right posterior pelvic floor. Our muscles only have the ability to pull, not push, and so we need to strengthen portions so they can change the positions. Let's come into our seated row now. So we'll grab onto our band. If you don't have an attachment point, you're just gonna bring that band on the bottom of your feet and you're gonna row that way. So grabbing onto your band, we're gonna bend the knees in, so we're kind of in this like seated kind of like not lunge position, like seated squat almost. And we're gonna think to row that band back and then release with the inhales. And we're gonna do 1 minute of that, and then we'll do our 1 minute hold with push. So exhale to row back, think elbows squeezing in your side, and then inhale to release towards the point of attachment or towards your feet. So exhales to row, big inhales to release. With all of the inhales, we want to think about, I'm expanding in my back. I feel my back expand, not I'm just allowing my belly to collapse forward. Inhales are about increasing pressure by bringing the tissues into a stretched state, not just releasing and relaxing into it. So it's not inhale, relax, exhale, contract. It's inhale to stretch, exhale to contract or to release. 20 more seconds of rows, and then we'll come into our hold, which push breathing. As you come back, make sure we're thinking elbows into the side, squeezing into the side body, and then inhale to slowly release. 3 seconds, we're gonna hold. And then go ahead and bring that band back and hold. And we're gonna think big inhale into the back. You should feel more pressure down into the pelvic floor. And then exhale like 20 to 30%, just pushing down into the pelvic floor. So big inhale into the back. And then exhale, just gently push down. Again, not trying to poop our pants. We're just trying to breathe down, to practice that downward movement with the breath while having activation within our body. And so again, if you watch folks push, they probably have a lot of lat engagement. And that is gonna really help to pull that tailbone backwards. And then we can accompany and practice that breathing now. So big inhale into the back. We're increasing pressure. And then we're gonna exhale to continue to bear down into push. But right now it's a gentle, like 20 to 30%. So you're just learning the direction of effort when it comes to pushing. Go ahead and release the band, grab onto your yoga block. We're gonna do our hero pose rock backs. So we'll start in that hero's pose position. Knees in, ankles just slightly out. Again, we're not like torquing the hips like an insane amount. We're not trying to like put ourselves in pain. And we're gonna start in this rounded position. And we wanna think the round is in the lower back, so I'm pulling belly to spine as opposed to like pushing as hard as you can through your shoulders. So inhale into the back to come forward. And then I want you to think exhale to maintain that as you bear down a little bit into the pelvic floor. So again, 20 to 30%. So when you inhale, you should feel your pelvic floor kind of stretch. And then when you exhale, we're just gonna add a little bit of pressure to that. So again, we're learning the direction of that push. So we have the slightly rounded back position. We have more of that internal rotation. If you want, you can almost think like pull elbows in as you come back to help with a little bit of that lat engagement as opposed to just pushing through the top of your back. So inhales, come forward, think feeling downward pressure, and then exhale, pull belly to spine as you bear down just a little bit into that pelvic floor. Thanks so much for joining us for this pushing prep workout. In this workout, we were targeting creating physical space in the bottom of the outlet by strengthening the hamstrings and inner thighs, in addition to the lat musculatures to pull that tailbone backwards. We incorporated movements that were offloading different portions of the pelvic floor so those tissues can yield more easily, plus practicing our push breathing. If you want to do more push breathing, you can practice it on the toilet whenever you have a bowel movement, but we're thinking inhale to feel that downward pressure and then exhale, kind of adding on to it with that downward pressure as well. If you enjoyed this workout and you want more birth preparation workouts like this, check out our online prenatal fitness programs. We offer it in 2 different formats. We have our video-based format, which is workouts like this, where it's a video that you follow along with. Our prenatal on-demand program has strength workouts, core and pelvic stability workouts, pelvic floor, and birth preparation workouts all within it. But if you prefer to work out at your own pace, you can check out our prenatal strength program, which is an app, list of exercises with short demo videos, which includes the same type of workouts with the strength, pelvic stability and core, birth prep, and pelvic floor. You can join any of our programs anytime as it syncs to your current week of pregnancy. We have one-time payment options for lifetime access and also monthly payment options that you can cancel at any time. You can check out all of our programs on our website at MamasteFit.com and use code YouTube10 to get 10% off any of our online offerings. And thanks so much for joining us for this workout.